Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Hero Code Show. It's nice to see everyone this week. We're gonna have some lighter topics this week. We're gonna take a break. It was a very serious show last week. We went a little went a little crazy over there. But we're back. We're here. It's back on. Yay! So we're gonna have some lighter topics. Once again, it's me solo this week. So I'm counting on you, chat. Let's do this. Give me some fun stuff. Yeah. Give me some good stuff. If you guys saw anything in the news this week, like entertainment news or stuff like that, that you'd like us to talk about on the show today, go ahead and type it into the chat there, and we will try and hit those toward the end of the show. And as always, go over to our YouTube channel, check out everything over there. If you miss any portion of any previous shows or anything like that, you can always go to the YouTube channel and look at everything. Yay! So yeah, welcome back to the show. With that, let's kind of kick it off. This is actually really, really cool. This came out on Kotaku. GOG, which is Good Old Games, is owned by publisher CD Projekt Red, and they make things like The Witcher and Cyberpunk 2077. Well, there's been some talk for a really long time about old games just disappearing due to things like them getting in the vault and not being updated for modern computers and things like that. So now what they're trying to do is they're trying to do a preservation program. So what they're trying to do is preserve and maintain classic games for the foreseeable future. Right now they've got 100 games listed, and they're going to try and maintain these games' compatibility with modern and future systems. I think this is a fucking awesome program. And I'm really, really glad that they did it, right? Because beyond like emulation and mods and things like that, that was the only way you could get a lot of these older games to stick around. I think it's an amazing thing that they're trying to do. I really, really, really want to see what they're doing. Yeah. They've been trying to compete with Steam, and quite frankly, I think Steam needs some competition. I think that they've got too much of a stranglehold on the market. And the other thing that GOG does, and this is the thing that I really, 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 really like, is they're DRM free, right? Which means they're not going to have those always online requirements. They're not going to have the DRM stuff. They're not going to have all the crazy things that you get with a lot of the publishers, and we're going to talk about one of the other publishers here in a little bit in one of our next segments. So I think this is a really good thing just for fun. And games preservation has been something we talked about this on the show a long time ago. Let's head over to their website for fun. They've now broken 100 games up there. Classic Blade Runner, Fallout New Vegas, right? All of these with no DRM, no nothing on it. I absolutely love the fact that they're doing this. The original Diablo, jeez. Gosh, there's so many good ones in here. Again, Fallout New Vegas, the original Fallout, Dragon Age Origins, Resident Evil. God, what else is on this list? SimCity 3000. Yeah, and it's only $4.99 with no DRM. I mean, you can't beat that. SimCity 2000 Special Edition. Wing Commander, which if you guys don't know, had Mark Hamill in it. Okay. Wing Commander is a classic game. It's very goofy, but it's very awesome. The Warcraft 1 and 2 bundle. Holy smokes. This one I might have to actually pick up. I absolutely adored these games. Okay. They're some of my favorites. So definitely worth it in there. The original Blade Runner. What else do we got here? Morrowind, Myst. I don't think anybody's playing Myst anymore. Myst was so crazy. Alpha Protocol I actually downloaded not too long ago. It's an interesting thing, and they've made some good improvements off the original. Warcraft 2, the BattleNet edition. The original Warcraft, Mad Max, Shadows of Mordor. Fate of Atlantis. Oh wow. Again, I think that this is a really, really cool program. I hope they keep it up. You know, give them time to do some stuff. Somebody in the chat's talking about Dungeon Siege 2 and not being able to play multiplayer. Hopefully they'll get it there. But again, seeing that these are not online required, are DRM free, which means once you buy them, you can put them onto a separate hard drive and move them the fuck around would be really, really nice. And so my hat's off to CD Projekt Red. They are, in my opinion, one of the best. They're one of the best publishers out there, publishers and distributors. Again, I think GOG being a competitor for Steam, there's nothing bad about having that kind of competition in the market. You really, really need it. So anyway, let us know what you think about all of this. I know I'm really, really curious about it. So let us know what you think. Okay, we're going to get ready to move on to topic number 2 here in a minute. But again, if you have anything you've seen, and I'm going to need your help, chat, here in a few minutes, because we're going to do some speculation on some of this stuff. So, excuse me. Jesus. Let's get something to drink here. Yeah, VT Plaid's bringing up the GOG and the MS-DOS archive. There's a lot of good preservation happening. I can't disagree. Again, I'm hoping this starts a trend with some of the bigger publishers. Like, video games really are an art form, and they really should be preserved as such. And there really should be hardcore work going on preservation of games. And so I want them to keep it up. Let's keep going. Okay. Our next topic, Disney. So, Disney, way back when, and by way back when, I mean in the late aughts, right, 2019, they announced that Bob Iger, who'd been the CEO of Disney for a long time and had been, considered one of the most successful CEOs of Disney up to that point, who had been in charge of the acquisition of Marvel, the acquisition of Lucasfilm, putting Kevin Feige into his position at the head of the MCU, the real blow up of the MCU, things like that. He was stepping down as CEO. And Bob Chapek, who had been the head of the Parks division prior to that, was coming in to be the new CEO. And then he did. And then COVID happened. And then Chapek lost his mind. Suffice it to say, the Chapek era at Disney was nothing if not fraught with problems. He changed kind of the whole thing. He added another layer of middle management in the film division and things like that. And so he was unceremoniously removed by the Disney board while he was at a concert. Reportedly, they texted him and said, "You're fired." And in firing Bob Chapek, they said, "Hey, Bob Iger, come on back. We need you to step in as CEO and get us out of this freaking rut I'm in." Now, a lot of people are like, well, there wasn't immediate improvement. Yeah, it takes time, okay? A lot of things early in Chapek's thingy wasn't Chapek's fault, because when you become CEO, it takes more than a day and a half in order for them to do anything. So then Chapek came in, and we spent, even after Chapek was fired, we spent the next 12, 18 months basically at Disney living through the problems that Chapek created. While he was CEO. Well, Bob Iger has been extended, I believe, to 2026. It takes time for them to find a new CEO. It's not one of those things that happens just overnight. Here you go. Here's a new CEO. It doesn't happen like that. So they're on the search for a new CEO for Disney right now. Yes, it was the Battle of the Bobs. Thank you, Chad. Here's the problem. One of the people they are looking at, according to both the Wall Street Journal and IGN, is Andrew Wilson, the CEO of EA. So here's what I'm going to say. No. Bob, watching the show, please God, do not hire the CEO of EA. Okay? EA is universally fucking hated, despised in the video game community. Okay? Literally despised. Nobody likes EA. EA is profitable. EA makes money. EA makes money in spite of the bonehead, ridiculous crap that EA pumps out. I'm looking at you, Madden. Okay? Oh my God. I can't even begin to talk about how much I hate this. Right? I absolutely hate this idea. Is he the one? Chaz asked if he's the one that started video. I know he didn't start video game microtransactions. I am sure he was instrumental in making sure they became fucking priority number one for EA. I can't even begin. In his latest thing, Apex Legends likely won't be getting a sequel. And in his eyes, BioWare's return. Jesus Christ. He likes golf. All right, first off, I don't trust it. I immediately stopped trusting people who like golf. Okay? And if you want to know why, go watch Carlin's thing on golf. He's been at EA for 20 years. He was the head of EA Sports. Again, Madden and FIFA, because Lord knows those have been great products. Here's ultimately what I want. Excuse me. Out of this. Please don't bring a tech guy into this, and don't bring a video game. Look, you need somebody with organizational experience and things like that who's going to let the studios do what they need to do. Because when the creatives are put in charge of being creative, they're going to have the greatest amount of success. Okay? They are. Okay? I will point to the metally crap that happened when Chapek was there and how that affected Marvel so terribly by taking away Kevin Feige's power to run the studio the way that it needed to be run. Just no. No. Okay? I don't want a tech guy in there. I don't want this. And here's the other thing, right? These guys have got to... It really had seemed like this year Disney had figured out their problem. Chapek's big mistake, pushing everything straight to streaming. Here's the thing, Disney, you've learned this. Streaming and tech is not where you're going to make your bones. Okay, you have. In fact, let's double check this real fast. But if I'm not missing my mistake before I do this, Disney is the top 2 grossing movies of the year so far, right? Worldwide box office. Oh, I'm right. In Inside Out 2 and Deadpool and Wolverine. Okay? You have the 2 top grossing box office. Why? Because you didn't push them straight to streaming. You didn't rely on the tech side. You did a traditional, old-fashioned, full-length theatrical run. You let those movies build word of mouth. You let those movies be good movies that the creators made, but not only that, you left them in theaters and gave people time to go see them. You didn't do what these other studios are doing and programming people to go, fuck it, I'll just wait for streaming. No, you need to keep them in the theaters. And look, you've made almost, in fact, I think that's just over, $3 billion. $3 billion in box office. Okay? By leaving them in there. Okay? Leave them in the things. I don't trust a guy, especially from EA. I don't trust anybody from the video game industry because that industry is an absolute 100% motherfucking dumpster fire. Okay? Talk to anybody who works in that industry and they will tell you it's a fucking dumpster fire. You don't want to bring that mentality of how you treat your talent, how you treat your employees, the hire, pump out games, fire, hire, pump out game, fire. You don't want that mentality at your studios. That's not how you make good product. Okay? So please, God, anybody but this guy, okay? Supposedly they have two other external candidates. Um, and they've got till 2026. Iger's out in 2026. They will probably have the new CEO start sometime, I would guess, middle of next year to give them time to get their feet underneath them, right? To take over a company. You have to understand, Disney's a massive corporation. Somebody in the thing said, "Don't bring anyone from Hasbro." Hasbro's not big enough of a company. It's just not. They're not. They would never bring in like somebody from Hasbro. They don't have. It's. You're talking about orders of magnitude difference. You know, Hasbro does like $8 billion a year. What has Disney done in revenue this year? What did they do last year? $88.9 billion. Disney. Yeah, Disney's too big for somebody like Hasbro. Last quarter they made 23.6 billion, 16 billion, 23.5. So they're at 60, let's see, 45 plus. They're at 68 billion right now. So, are there any actual Disney family members still involved? Chad asks. There are people from the Disney family who are on the board. And they have large chunks of stock still. What's her name? Abigail is very involved. You'll see her stuff come up. You'll see Abigail Disney's name come up when they talk about board member stuff. So yes. Yeah, there's people from the Disney family who still exert influence. They're not involved in the business, but they exert influence over what's going on there. Again, not this guy. Please, not this fucking guy. Okay, I don't want to see anybody from Techland. I don't want to see anybody from video games. The only person from tech who I would say maybe and who wouldn't take the job would be Tim Cook from Apple. He might be able to do it. I think he could do it. There's been rumors about an Apple Disney merger for a long time. I wonder if, given the political climate, they might try it in the next couple of years. Apple and Disney have a long history together. They have a long running history together. So I'd be curious to see if those rumors finally come to fruition. I won't be surprised if they don't, but I also won't be surprised if they do. Is there anyone? Who would I want to see as CEO of Disney? I'll be honest. It's probably nobody I've ever heard of. I would love to see them grab one of the former studio heads, but Disney's such a monster of a company. Because it's the parks, it's the cruise lines, it's the movies, you know, it's everything that they do. It's so massive. I can't think of anybody off the top of my head that I would like to see as CEO. I can definitely tell you I don't want the CEO of EA. Bob, please no. Please no. All right. Moving on to our next topic. And this is where I'm going to need your help, chat. Chat, sound off for me. So this is fun. This is my favorite thing. This is... We know they've gotten some big names into the MCU. They got Rob Redford. They got Michael Douglas. They got, what's her name? Michelle Pfeiffer. They have gotten in some massive names into the MCU over the last 20 years. This one might be one of my favorites. Denzel Washington casually announced that he's going to be in Black Panther 3. Director Ryan Coogler is writing him a role. All right. Normally you don't hear about this stuff until they're ready. I mean, really ready to announce it. Okay. He was doing promo for Gladiator 2. And somebody was like, oh, hey, Harrison Ford. And yeah, Harrison Ford is going to be in there now. Right. Washington said he didn't want to do many movies left, but he said that he was working with soon as director Ryan Coogler in the third installment of the Black Panther series. So, again, I don't know if they meant for this to come out yet, because, again, usually Disney is fucking close to the vest with stuff like this. Yeah. So here's the actual quote. He said, I played Othello at 22. I'm about to play Othello at 70. After that, I'm playing Hannibal. After that, I'm talking with Steve McQueen about a film. And after that, Ryan Coogler is writing a part for me in the next Black Panther. After that, I'm going to do the film Othello. After that, I'm going to do King Lear. After that, I'm going to retire. All right. So, here's what I need, chat. Here's what I need. What do we want to see him play? I am trying to think of what kind of role I want Denzel to play in the third Black Panther movie. I'll be honest. You know what? We know it's going to be a one and done, right? And for those of you that have seen Training Day, right? I want him to be the bad guy. I want him to be the Training Day-esque bad guy, right? That's really what I want. I want to see him just mean and fucking evil, because he's so good at it. He's so fucking good at playing a bad guy. I really, that's what I want to see. I don't want him to. I wouldn't be opposed to like a what am I thinking here? I wouldn't be opposed to like, you know, like an elder statesman or some sort of like mentor character, right? I don't even think character roster. Somebody in the chat's like, bring up the character roster. There is no point in bringing up the character roster, because those characters, they've modified them for the MCU so heavily that I don't want to use that as a I don't want to use that as a reference point, right? Because again, it also doesn't have to be from Black Panther. I mean, you could stick any Marvel character in there. I just really want to know. Let's see what do they have in the comments down here. Let's see. Do they have anything else? No. Okay, so that comment section is useless. Angela Bassett, didn't she die in the last one? I'm pretty sure she died in Black Panther 2. Yeah. No, I think she died in Black Panther 2. All right, chat. So give me this: good guy or bad guy, right? Old man on the mountain, Oracle, Obi-Wan type for Shuri, right? Again, that would be kind of the other option. I almost think that one's a little too on the nose, just because he's older now and things like that. Yeah, this one's tough. This one's really tough. I'm not sure. Again, I'm still sticking with I want him to be a bad guy. Okay, give me Denzel in Training Day, just messing people up. Yeah, like, you know, be a bastard. You know, he's so good at it. You know. So, yeah, I don't think we get to see him play a bad guy enough, right? And I think that would really be a stretch. If you're gonna use Denzel for one movie, and here's the other thing too: when we get these guys for one movie, they're usually the bad guy, right? This is kind of the habit of the MCU. generally speaking, when we get these big name motherfuckers in these things, like Robert Redford, he's in there for one movie and then he's gone. I honestly don't think Harrison's going to be in more than one. I think that he's going to become Red Hulk, and I think they're going to get rid of Red Hulk. Right? Somebody in the chat, Bruce Banner ain't got shit on me. Yes, exactly. That's what I want, right? Can we see Sam? No, I don't think we're going to see him and Sam Jackson together. And again, this is why I'm betting he's going to be a bad guy. Because, again, when we get these kind of one-offs, right, it's often the bad guy, right? Because they're going to come in for one movie, we're going to kill him off, and that's fine. So let's make him a really cool bad guy and go from there. And I would be pretty sure that that's probably what's going to happen. So, yeah, all right. Anyway, let us know what you think down in the comments below. What do you want to see Denzel play? Let me know. Again, I think he's going to be a villain, but, you know, somebody who may know the comic roster a little better than I do for Black Panther, let me know what you think. Again, it doesn't have to be a Black Panther character. So, drop your comments down in the section below. All right. Since someone brought it up, their Spider-Man 4 is on the way, right? Tom Holland said in an interview that he and Zendaya have read the script, that it's almost there, right? That they're pretty close on this. Who's directing? Because it's not John Watts again. Spider-Man 4. I think they have a director attached. Oh, no, that's John Watts. Yeah. This is the story that I saw. Destin Daniel Cretton will be going there to do Spider-Man 4. He did Shang-Chi. So I'm okay with this pick. I think Shang-Chi was a great fucking movie. And in fact, I'm kind of mad at Disney that we haven't gotten Shang-Chi 2 yet. Yeah. Said Tom Bryan has an actual script. Tom was given a fake script. Apparently they read it together in their apartment. And they were, according to Tom Holland, they were like bouncing off the couch and stuff like that. So Chris McKinnon and Eric Summers coming back to write. Again, it's a joint production between Marvel and Sony because of the rights stuff with Spider-Man. I think Holland said they're going to start filming next year. So I would expect this one out in 2026. Disney and Marvel recently moved a bunch of release dates and stuff around. So next year, I think we get 3 movies. This is, again, they slowed down this year. You got to remember, Deadpool and Wolverine is the only MCU film releasing this year. There is nothing else. Next year, we get Captain America 4, and we get the Thunderbolts, which, by the way, have you guys seen the Thunderbolts trailer? Have you seen it? It's really good. Hang on one second. I'm going to do this. I'm going to bring it up. Have you guys seen the Thunderbolts trailer? Because it looks good. They just released a new trailer 4 days ago, so since our last show, right? So let's take a look at this. Oh, good. It didn't put a fucking ad. No. No, don't do that, computer. All right, so let's take a look at this. I'm excited about this.
Oh, America's so big. You ever drive through Oklahoma? It's so flat.
You got a convoy approaching fast. Step on it.
Come on, baby.
Okay, a bit faster, please.
me!
Okay, don't worry, don't worry. Engaging defensive measures.
Oh my god.
Come on, this is great.
Oh my god.
Is that Bucky?
It's a Winter Soldier. That guy is so cool. That's what I talk about!
That's not good.
How crazy is it to think of all the monumental fights that happened exactly here where you're standing? I mean, the place wasn't cheap, but it's got good optics. Look at you. You are all so adorable.
Eat shit, Valentina. The assignment is... Oh wait, hang on. Assignment is complete.
What kind of super serum did you get?
I don't know, regular. Hydra.
Hydra. Oh, fancy.
Who is this old Santa?
The Red Guardian.
What?
Everyone here has done bad things. Shadow ops. Contract kills.
And you, former Red Room assassin. God only knows the blood on your hands.
Pretty ludicrous coming from the dime store Captain America.
I'll have you know, is actually the official Captain America.
Dime store Captain
Yeah,
America
for
is
like
true.
2 seconds.
Getting so tense in here.
Who are you?
I'm Bob.
Bob.
We're just drifting. And we don't have purpose. You can't escape the past.
There we go. That's better.
Do something about it now. Or live with it forever.
Yeah.
So what, we all just punch and shoot?
We are the Thunderbolts!
Can't call ourselves that.
Thank God.
The Thunderbolts. It's a cool name.
So, suffice it to say, I'm actually... Is that supposed to be Aim Bob? No, it's not. They actually... I know who that is. It's actually a really powerful character. It's not Nova. Shoot, who is it? It's, Sentry. It's fucking Sentry. And he's super powerful. Like, super duper fucking powerful. So this is gonna be interesting to see what they do with Sentry. They're obviously getting ready for what's it called? Secret Wars and Doomsday. Is it Hydra Bob? No, again, it's Sentry. So it's gonna be an interesting thing. The other one that they released, and this came out of D23, was the new Brave New World trailer. And this one's also... No, screw you. This one's really good. I'm kind of curious.
Your inner circle's
Yeah, I'm really good about this.
Watch yourself. Whatever this is, Cap.
No, hang on. Where's the new one? I want the Marvel one. Thank you, Marvel. Jesus Christ. That's why.
You asked for me. Here I am.
I really do like Anthony Mackie. I don't care what anybody says.
Help me.
Is there anything you remember?
Murdering fools.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States, Thaddeus Ross.
Again, I think this is the only movie he's going to end up doing. Maybe Doomsday. Maybe. But again, we get these guys, they typically, it's one and done.
Whatever this is.
And I can't see Ford sticking around.
What do we know?
There were 5 shooters. This was a coordinated terrorist attack, sir.
I was a wartime general. Now I'm a wartime president. Your inner circle's been compromised. Let me fix it. Watch yourself. You're not Steve Rogers. You're right. I'm not.
Right? It's a better looking suit. It's a better looking suit.
We're on the brink of war. I can't trust anyone.
This is a really good trailer.
Nothing about this feels right.
Captain America. You ever ask yourself, who's playing who?
Someone's been pulling the strings on everything.
You're under arrest?
I don't want a variable out there that I can't control. Stop! Captain America.
See, we're getting some stuff from,
Out his wing.
what's it called?
You like to play dress up and
The Inhuman shit.
the state's orders.
Don't say I didn't warn you.
What if this is a trap?
You don't even know what this is.
Here we go. Harrison Ford Hulk. The fact that we're getting Giancarlo Esposito also makes me food. Oh, it's the leader from The Incredible Hulk. So there you go. Those were the 2 big Marvel trailers out of D23. I'm looking forward to both of those. Again, they're getting better with their trailers. This movie went through extensive reshoots after Iger came back. After Feige kind of got restored to his position. So I'm really curious what this is going to look like now. Again, I think it's going to be, I think this is a one and done for Harrison. That would be my guess. Probably Giancarlo Esposito too. As much as I love Giancarlo Esposito, I think this is probably one and done for him. But again, the cool thing is, and a lot of you probably don't remember, back in the day, comic book movies were not prestigious, and you were never getting big name actors unless they were on the outs into comic book films. You know, especially in the late 90s and early aughts. So the fact that you can get a Robert Redford, you can get a Harrison Ford, you can get a Giancarlo Esposito to come do these films says a lot. You can get Denzel. Denzel's coming. All right, let's see here. What do we got? What time is it? It's 8:41. All right, chat. Let me know if you had seen any topics or anything that you wanted to talk about this week. We're trying to keep this show pretty light, so try and keep them kind of chill this week. All right. I think we can all agree that this week we kind of need to so Dave Filoni is now the CCO. He is the chief creative officer at Lucasfilm. When did that come out? Let's talk about that. November 2023. So about a year ago. So this is a good chat question. Dave Filoni being handed full creative control at Lucasfilm. Yeah, he was promoted to chief creative officer a year ago. So the thing is that we don't really know in the context of Lucasfilm, what this means. We really don't know. We actually did get some Star Wars news this week, and we'll talk about that right now. So we don't know what happened to the Rey movie. Supposedly it's, Here's the good news. Supposedly, Simon Kinberg, who was the executive producer of Deadpool and Wolverine, right? He is actually supposed to do the next Star Wars movies, the next trilogy, 10, 11, and 12. Here's my issue, and this is where I agree with one of my favorite movie YouTubers. I don't believe it's going to happen. I just don't. So, and let me correct the chat. Unless there's a piece of news that I have missed in the last, like, day or so, and I'm sure I would have noticed it. No, Kathleen Kennedy is not out. So let's be clear about that. She is still the head of Lucasfilm. That is her job. She is the studio head for Lucasfilm under Disney. Dave Filoni is the chief creative officer. So his boss is Kathleen Kennedy, right? Kathleen Kennedy said, okay, you're the CCO now. Here's, again, Simon Kinberg being chalked up to do this film is great. He was heavily involved in Rebels. Again, according to one of my favorite movie YouTubers, like, he is a super Star Wars nerd. Like, this guy is the ultimate Star Wars nerd. Yeah, and it's in Deadline. He's gonna write and produce them. Quiet you. Again, most recently, he worked on Deadpool and Wolverines. He worked on Rebels. He worked on Force Awakens. He has a great resume. Okay. He has a phenomenal resume. Lucasfilm has announced and quietly shelved at least 8 Star Wars projects. Let's run through them. Taika Waititi Star Wars movie. I haven't heard anything about that in a long time. Kevin Feige Star Wars movie. Haven't heard about that in a long time. Dan and Dave's Star Wars movies. Haven't heard about that in a long time. Patty Jenkins was supposed to do the Rogue Squadron, and they did the big cool announcement with the full-size X-Wing, and I was super excited because I love Rogue Squadron. Nope. Okay. Let's see. What else has been canceled? Oh, Rian Johnson's supposed Star Wars trilogy. So, something is going on over there at Lucasfilm that prevents them from getting into the thing. Sources. I stick with, there's basically one movie YouTuber that I will watch that I consider to be well inside the industry that I will listen to. Everybody else, I take anything they say with a grain of salt. The other places that I listen to, until it's reported in one of the major trades, so that's Deadline, Hollywood Reporter, Variety, somebody who actually knows something, I basically don't believe any of them. Somebody in the chat's bringing up the Old Republic. Supposedly James Mangold, who did Logan, right? He's supposed to be working on a Swords and Sandals, like an Origin of the Jedi, like biblical epic style film about where the Jedi came from. That's been in pre-production for a really long time. Not a really long time, but a long time. Long enough where we haven't heard anything, and so I'm now starting to doubt it's happening. The YouTube guy I'm referring to is John Campea. He used to work for AMC. He was at Collider. He was at AMC. He's worked for a bunch of very reputable places. He's in Los Angeles, and I have never seen him report anything that was incorrect. So basically, if he either takes his stuff from the trades, or on a couple of occasions, I've seen him actually report, like when the news about Keanu Reeves being Shadow the Hedgehog, John was the first one to report that. So he's my favorite movie YouTuber. He's the only one where if he says it, I buy it. And I believe his sources. And again, he breaks news so infrequently that when he does, it immediately pops. Pre-Old Republic. Yeah, so that's what James Mangold's supposed to be working on. Donald Glover is still trying to get a Lando project off the ground, supposedly. But again, I haven't heard anything about that in a year and a half, 2 years. So what do I want to say about this? Yes, that's how it's spelled. Campea. I want this to be true. Simon Kinberg, again, executive produced Logan. He executive produced Deadpool and Wolverine. He produced the first 2 Deadpool movies. He's got a great resume. And again, according to John, is a giant. Well, again, he worked on Rebels. So he's credited with co-creating Rebels. And so I would love to see him do a Star Wars trilogy. I wish that a Star Wars trilogy was forthcoming. I want more Star Wars. The fact that we have had no new Star Wars films in 5 years. 5 years. Now, I'm going to back myself up a little bit, and I'm going to say, as someone who grew up in Star Wars was my first fandom. Okay, it was. We went over a decade, well over a decade, between the release of Episode 6 and the release of Episode 1. Okay? If I recall correctly, it was 15 years. So, the idea of Star Wars fans having to wait a crap long time for, a series of films, not in the least bit surprising. But I am frustrated since Disney, since this whole thing. The fact that they haven't been able to release a new Star Wars film in 5 years is really a damning indictment of Lucasfilm and their ability to just produce a fucking movie, right? Somebody in the chat saying, I only want good new Star Wars. Here's the thing. And you can go back and watch previous episodes that I've done on this. I've done a lot of episodes on Star Wars. Most of what Disney has put out has been at least okay, if not good. Okay. Again, at least okay, if not good. Okay. Mandalorian, good. I still maintain that Rogue One is one of the best, it's in my top 3 as far as Star Wars films. It's in my top 3. It's probably Return of the Jedi, Empire, the original. That's probably 4. Again, most of their stuff lately, they haven't released much. That's the problem. Acolyte was, it was okay. It wasn't great. There was definitely some issues with it. The lightsaber fight was at Episode 4, the big giant Jedi versus fucking dude Star Wars fight. I loved that fight scene. I think it had absolutely gorgeous choreography, and the fact that it was overshadowed by a story that was very mid, really upsets me. Mandalorian was good. Rogue One was good. Episode 7 was good. Episode 8 was fine. Episode 9 was not good. It was okay. Especially on repeat viewing. I was like, eh. But that's just it, is that, Solo was okay. Again, they should have done a Lando movie, and Donald Glover was great as Lando in that film. Alden Ehrenreich was never going to stand up to Harrison Ford. I'm sorry. Yeah. Somebody in the YouTube chat saying the fighting was great. The story was yeah. And again, it was a very mid story. I didn't love it. Obi-Wan was okay. Again, there were some things in Obi-Wan that I was like, why are we doing this? But there was also some complete greatness in Obi-Wan. That last fight scene between Vader and Obi-Wan was top fucking tier. It was great from both an acting standpoint and a thing. Ahsoka was okay. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great. Again, I think there was a lot of missed opportunities there, and I don't feel like it was Ahsoka. I feel like it was a Rebels season 5. Somebody in the chat saying 7, 8, and 9 were complete dumpster fires. I disagree. I think 7 was fine. It was good. Right? It was Star Wars. It was Star Wars. Again, did I agree with all the writing choices? No. Did I agree with everything they did? No. did I enjoy it when I watched it? Yes, I walked out of 7 and I was reasonably pleased with the film. 8, I was reasonably pleased with the film. 8, I can mostly fix in 2 scenes that, again, I would have rewritten. You know, but again, I didn't think it was terrible. I was just like, okay, you know, it was a Star Wars movie. Great. You know, 9, it was very obvious that they were just all over the map with that movie. Again, there were some great moments to it. There were some great moments. Ahsoka gets better at the end. Somebody said they didn't finish Ahsoka. It gets better at the end. It was too short. Again, it was Rebels season 5 or whatever the next season of Rebels would have been. I'm glad we got Ezra back. I'm glad that a lot of things, and seeing live action Chopper, like, made my fucking day. I love Chopper. Somebody in the chat was mentioning Chopper earlier. I absolutely love Chopper. Andor was great. I need to go back and rewatch it so I can get ready for Andor season 2, which is coming soon. And we get the return of K2SO in Andor season 2. Yes, we get to see how Andor got K2. Okay. I really want to know how he got K2SO. That is how did he get the big Imperial droid? I want to know. Alan Tudyk will be reprising his role for that. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what's next. I hope Simon Kinberg's, I really honestly do hope his trilogy gets done. I really want it. I want more Star Wars movies, and Star Wars belongs on the big screen. I actually took Jordan earlier this year. Yeah, I took Jordan to see episode 1. They were doing, they do re-releases at the theaters. They've been doing that this year, like bring back some old movies. Episode 1 was in theaters. I took Jordan to see episode 1 in the movie theater, and I will tell you something, it hits different in the theater. It really does. You can watch episode 1 on TV, on your thing at home. It hits different in the theater. When you were sitting in a movie theater and though in episode 1 and the freaking bay doors open up and you see Darth Maul walk out and be like, psh, and then the other side comes out of his light stab and you're like, yes, like that. It just hits different. The whole thing works differently. So many of the things we're going to have to AI. Apparently they have the licensing, and I didn't know this. Somebody had to point this out to me on social media. They do have the license to, James Earl Jones worked out a deal with Disney to use his voice after he died. So they can use him to do Vader, in perpetuity. So I didn't know that. I was kind of icked at it, but again, if the actor agrees to it, that's my big thing. It's up to the actor. Yeah, I absolutely, again, Star Wars was my first fandom. I want this trilogy to go somewhere. I want it to do something. I want to see 10, 11, 12. And do me a favor, let's get a 30-year time jump. Let's get away from the damn Empire. Let's get a new bad guy. Let's do something new. Okay, let's do something new. And I think that Simon Kinberg absolutely can do that. Right? Like, I really do think he's got the ability to get in there and really create something great. So take that for what it's worth. Let me know in the comments what you think. Again, new Star Wars trilogy supposedly on the way. Do we believe they'll actually get it done this time? Yeah, I wanted Rogue Squadron really bad. That was what it was supposed to be. Patty Jenkins was supposed to do it. There's this. Yeah, that's what's that new Star Wars show? Hang on. Oh, what's it called? God darn it. Chat, help me out here. Skeleton Crew. So somebody in the chat saying they should have done the Zahn trilogy, I Will Die on This Hill. Yeah, they just would have had to do it in 1986 or 87. Right? Like, George would have had to have done that in 86 or 87. When did Zahn write those movies? The Heir of the Empire. They would have had to do it. They basically would have had to do it right when he wrote them. Like, that's when they would have had to do the Zahn trilogy, is back in 91. Because by the time by the time those were out, like, again, look at how Harrison and Carrie and Mark had aged from 83 until they made because those movies take place like 5 years after the end of Return of the Jedi. So George would have had to do that a long time ago. And George was never going to make those into films. So take out of your mind the idea that George was ever in a million years going to do that, because George honestly didn't like the novels that much. He didn't like that he liked that he was getting paid, but he didn't like them. Like, he did not consider them reality, right? They were an alternate Star Wars universe that had nothing to do with what he did. With today's technology, maybe, you could do it, but and some people aren't opposed to recasting. I don't know if you do or not. Again, you could die on the Timothy Zahn hill. I am very curious about Skeleton Crew as well. They just did a new trailer for that not too long ago, a couple weeks ago, 12 days ago. So here, we can take a quick look at that so you guys know what everybody's talking about.
What are you in for?
It's Star Wars Goonies.
What are you in for?
I also love the song they chose for this, which is great, because it's Major Tom and it's awesome.
What are you in for?
I was looking for something to watch with Jordan after we finished Percy Jackson, and this might be it.
This is unacceptable. Do you understand?
There we go. Let's go.
What do you think it is?
I like the little dude with the elephant face.
Don't touch anything.
Yeah, see, this is good. Crap, we stole a ship.
What did you do? We're lost. Really lost. Stay together. We just need some directions home.
Come on, kid. Pay up. Whoa. Where'd you two find an old Republic credit?
Run away!
Quick. I'll get you home. We'll make a partnership. But we have to move fast. I need you to take the controls.
Okay. Neil? Neil?
A crew of murderous pirates is coming.
I also love droids. Give me a good droid in any show, and I'm set.
We're not alone down here.
Be warned of booby traps. Pirates and mountains where none dare to go.
If you hear this, don't give up. No matter what.
So that comes out in a couple of weeks. I am actually excited. I am actually excited this. YouTube chat saying that's one they want to see. I'll be honest. I think it looks promising. I love Jude Law. I can think of very few movies that I don't love Jude Law in. He's a phenomenal actor. So I think getting him for this show is great. I think the kind of Goonies-esque vibe to it makes a lot of sense. Like, it makes for good content. Another long lost hidden Jedi. Yeah, and I think that one's getting a little tired, a little bit. Again, I would like the story to move forward. They seem to be stuck in this era. For those that actually want a new book, they just released a book that I read. It's in the new canon, and I really, really enjoyed it. So I will make a book recommendation to you now. I got this on my Kindle, but it's Rise and Fall of the Galactic Empire, right? It's written like a history book, like a scholarly work that takes place within the Star Wars universe. But that, again, it's It's written like a scholarly work with footnotes and stuff like that. This is great. So if you like that kind of stuff and you want like some extra Star Wars in your life, this is a really good book. I read it on my Kindle. Where in the new canon? What do you mean where in the new canon, chat? You're gonna have to give me more of that. Like, where is the new canon? There's a bunch of stuff in the new canon. I have not kept up as closely in the new canon as I did the old canon. Partially because some of it just didn't hit for me. The High Republic stuff, like blah. Skeleton Crew, I think, is a few years after Return of the Jedi. So sometime in the New Republic era. Yeah, and it's got a very 80s kids on bikes kind of vibe to it. So again, I think it looks really good. If you're looking for more stuff, Zahn wrote 6 new Thrawn books in the new canon. Like, there are 6 Thrawn books that you can go read, written by Timothy Zahn. For those that love Heir to the Empire and the original Zahn trilogy, he wrote a whole 6-book series. Where's this book? It spans, because it talks about how the Galactic Empire came into being, and then the fall of the Galactic Empire and the rise of the First Order. So the book is written in the canon after Episode 9, because the First Order's done. So yeah, the book is written in canon after Episode 9, but it chronicles the history of the Empire and the rise of the First Order, which is really just kind of the end of the book. So I thought it was really fun to read. I like history books, and I like, pseudo history books. It gives some good world building. So I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really, really good. So if you're looking for something to read, and again, the Timothy Zahn, hang on. Zahn. Star Wars. He wrote 6 new books. Right? So there's this series and then this series right here. Right? All of them. So he wrote these ones first. There's Thrawn Alliances and Thrawn Treason. And then there's Thrawn Ascendancy. And this one all takes place during his time in the Chiss Ascendancy. Before he comes to the Empire. So really, you should probably read these 3 first. Even though they were released later. This one ends right before where Rebels picks up with Thrawn's story. And obviously we know now with Ahsoka that Thrawn is back. Oh no, Thrawn is back. So it's great. All right, so I'm going to give it a couple more minutes. If you guys have anything you want to discuss in the chat, any other trailers you saw or other Star Wars things or other movies, I'll talk about this really quick. Amazon opened a discount store. You can't actually do it on your desktop. It's mobile only for right now, but everything is under $20. And it's like, Amazon's like, we have Temu too, we promise. So here's Temu for Amazon. Yeah, I don't know what they're thinking, but apparently they feel like they needed a Temu of their own. So again, if you've got any more questions, throw them into the chat. We'll take a look at them real quick before we sign off for the night. And if we don't get in here in a couple of minutes, we'll just sign off for the night. Yeah, this was the other one I found. I thought I would do a full topic on it, and I was like, I don't even know what to say about this. And I would have gone through the site and kind of looked at what was there, but you can't even look at it on your desktop because it's mobile only. Thanks, Amazon. Yeah. So yeah, barring something bonkers here in the next couple of weeks, we'll probably steer from politics for just a couple of weeks, just to kind of let everybody breathe. It's called Amazon Haul. It's called Amazon Haul. It's a mobile only thing that you can do. Everything's under $20, but it will not ship quickly. It's like a 2-week minimum because it's shipping from Guangdong, China. So take that for what it's worth. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what to say. It's there. It's there, man. Yeah. Again, they were like, we have Temu too. Screw you, Temu. Right? Yeah. And again, according to the initial reports, it's kind of a bunch of, tchotchke, like junk stuff. So it's not a separate app. You go into your app store. So you go into your existing Amazon app, right? So first you have to update the Amazon app. Then you look up Haul in the app search bar, right? And so it's in the existing Amazon app, but you have to find it and get to kind of this screen here, right? Which is Haul, right? I honestly don't know what to say. Yeah. Like, I don't know why they needed this. Like, this just seems like something that Amazon's going to ditch after a couple of weeks. So take that for what it's worth. All right. With all that being done, we will be back next week. Maybe we'll do some guests this week. Again, working on stuff. I also got to work on like a promo schedule and stuff like that. I just haven't had time this week. Maybe I'll have some time this weekend. But with that, thank you for joining us tonight. Everybody who's stuck here through the chat, we really appreciate you. Join us next week on Wednesday nights. I find this to be good. And again, if you have stuff in the topics, go to our Discord, drop it in there. And yeah, we'll see you next week. Bye.